the old Rob, even a decade old Rob, 10 years back, would have probably told that story the day after it happened. But in my old age, I'm like, I can tell this story in 7 to 8 months.
Well, I'm Russ Milline from The Direct. Thank you for talking to me. First and foremost, thank you for being here. An important cause, and everyone, appreciates you being here to help
Fantastic.
out. LA has been through a lot.
Yeah.
It's a very resilient city. For you, why do you think LA is as resilient as it is?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't know. It's just built in the spirit. I mean, it's the town of movies, and movies are an extension of art, and art takes great, I think, both inspiration and effort. We all fight the page, fight the script, but I think this town just refuses to go down, and there's a lot to fight for. It's beautiful, but it's this incredible melting pot of all these different cultures. I'm born and raised in Southern California. I've lived here my whole life, so I've literally watched it. And no, those fires were as devastating as anything I've ever seen. I had my son lived up in the Hollywood Hills. He had to be evacuated, came down, spent the 2 days with us in Orange County. My sister-in-law had to be evacuated, wasn't let back into her home for 4.5 weeks. So yeah, it's crazy. But no, this town always fights back, and I think it's going to come back bigger than before.
I have to ask about Deadpool.
Of course.
You recently, had some words for Marvel, and they kind of lit the internet on fire, and everyone's talking about it. So just for you, what has been your reaction to how everyone's reacted to that?
Well, I just told a story about something that happened to me, but I grew up loving Marvel Comics, and I'll still buy Marvel Comics, and I'll still buy Marvel films, but the people behind some of the desks and some of the executives, I just told a story. That's all I did, and it was important for me to tell it in my voice. I can tell people who didn't listen to the podcast because they describe a different version of me that doesn't exist, which is really why I chose to record the story rather than tell a reporter about it. So it's out there. It's on my podcast, Robservations, and I just decided to, and the old Rob, even a decade old Rob, 10 years back, would have probably told that story the day after it happened. But in my old age, I'm like, I can tell this story in 7 to 8 months. I'm in no rush. But when it came time to, because I'm no longer working with the character at all, and I'm no longer I wasn't working with Marvel anymore anyway. So it was a no lose for me. So, but I haven't stopped being a fan, and I won't stop rooting for them. But I think they should maybe reprioritize.
Yeah. Have they reached out to you at all since that story?
No, sir. And I don't expect they ever will.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I've moved on.
Now, I know you aren't necessarily involved with Deadpool anymore.
Yep.
But just, since you were you helped, create him.
No, he doesn't exist without me.
Exactly.
I say that to anyone else, and they can't dispute that. Whenever we get into this.
It's true.
Anyone at Marvel, I said, so tell me that these roles exist without me. Tell me that he's on the page without me walking in with him. No, look, I have a agreement with whether it's a toy, whether it's a game. I mean, I'll participate in Deadpool for the rest of my life. That's and I credit my younger self for really seeing the forest for the trees and going, hey, maybe what if you do create the next Wolverine? Because that was my thinking back then. But no, I love the character. I hope he does. I hope he continues to entertain. If Deadpool does well, I do well. Yeah. So I hope he does great.
Is there an evolution of the character that you would kind of like to see explored? Because obviously you're not the one creatively doing stuff right now, but hypothetically, for anyone else who handles the character, whether it be in a movie or show or comic, is there something you'd really like to see explored with the character that still hasn't been done?
Deadpool is always succeeds at the highest level when he is handled in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I would just ask people, when he was the most successful, what was he reflecting, and do more of that.
That's fair. That's a good answer. Well, sir, thank you again.
Thank you for having me.